What do a chance encounter, nostalgic music, epic anime, and a blank skateboard deck have in common? This.
Hey guys, welcome back. I'm your dad's house. Welcome back, guys. Playing bubble.
The way this project actually came about was a really cool experience. Something that was absolutely by chance. It was unplanned, and the fact that it is what it is incredible. Actually, it's so cool. And I'm actually going to tell you the story right now of how this actually became a thing. I went to a concert, and so I was sitting there with my drink, just hanging out, right? And this opener, the opening band, was singing a bunch of songs that I really like, a bunch of stuff that I listen to today and in the past and whatnot, just some really recognizable good stuff that I just kind of resonate with. And then somebody walks up to me and says, "Oh my God, it's so nice to finally meet you in person." And I look up and I'm like, hey. And he's like, "My name's Cameron. You know, we've interacted a whole bunch on social media, and I've been following your channel for a while." I'm like, "That's great. Who are you, man?" He's like, "Actually, I was just the guy up there singing." I'm like, oh, that's really cool. That's so cool. Oh my gosh. So all of a sudden we're just like, you know, two creative individuals just like really vibing with each other. So that's, oh my God. So we sat there and talked. He likes my art. He wants me to actually do a commission for him. And I want you to do it on a skateboard. The inspiration points are two bands that I used to listen to a lot, which is Linkin Park and Rise Against. Whenever I get these commissions and I get requests and I get specific guidelines and whatnot, I like to immerse myself in whatever it is that they set these little borders for me. So I started to listen to these two bands, Linkin Park and Rise Against, like real heavy. I just put my headphones on and I was listening, jamming out, and I would listen very intently, and I would write down words that came to mind as I was listening to these songs. I would write down the words that came to mind, and from there I gathered this giant list of sources of inspiration. And then from there I had to go and collect a color palette. So I started selecting colors from random objects, and from the cover art and random objects, I just started selecting colors and made my little color palette. And once I had the concept art and I had the color palette, I matched something together and made a digital sketch, a physical and a digital sketch of what I wanted.
Jumping right into the project, we're going to start with a blank board, a blank skateboard that I got from Amazon. You just order a single. I ended up ordering two, but I got it. And I just started with a sandpaper, with a sander, with some 120 grit sandpaper just to knock off that the clear coat that was on the board. And it's a really thin coat of clear coat, so it's not that big of a deal to get off. But once you get it off, it becomes nice and prepped. And then I went ahead and put a layer of black paint on it. Actually, I put about 3 coats of paint on it, just to kind of act as a primer, I do suppose. And I don't have an actual primer, but you know, it worked just fine. And then I went ahead and with some spray paint with my yellows and my purple and orange and copper colored spray paints, I just went ahead and made some abstract work, made some quick work with the background. And I'll tell you what actually led this was an abstract background, but the colors were chosen because of we went ahead and did some prep work by we made the sketch. We sketched out what we wanted to be on there, and we figured out what colors we wanted, and then from the colors of the subject matter, which would be the monkey, right? I went ahead and used some coordinating colors, some colors on the opposite end of the color wheel to go along with the monkey that we painted, or that I did in a digital sketch. And so this is just me playing around with the colors, trying to figure out something that I'm happy with. And to be honest, I finished this background and I really didn't love it. I didn't like where it had come out. I didn't like the stripes. I didn't like the colors. I just didn't like it. But then I sat on it. I let it be finished, and I sat on the project for a little bit, left it there for a day or two, and then actually I really fell in love with it. Here you can see the aftermath of the tracing. And again, it's just graphite here. And it allows me to, instead of sketching it directly on the board and trying to reproduce the sketch, I just simply printed it out. Again, just with a piece of paper, just a simple old piece of paper to the proper size that I wanted it to be on the board. And just from that sketch, I just filled in the sketch with with white paint. And white paint is just going to allow the colors that I put on top to pop. And it also, again, just kind of preps it on top of the spray paint. It gives something on top of the spray paint to kind of just to separate it, I suppose. So it's not sliding around. If just trying to go directly on top of those colors and paint the colors that I want to paint. Trying to paint it directly on top of that will make it look a little muddy. So I just put a little thin coat of white and then just moved on to the next step, which actually just so happened to be making another stencil for the band name, because the guy that commissioned me belongs to a band called Cold Relent, and so I'm integrating the name of his band into his skateboard because I'm a cool guy like that. He didn't ask me to do it. He's probably not expecting me to do it, but I'm gonna do it anyway. This part is a bit of a time skip, we'll call it, where I've just simply blocked out the colors of both the monkey and the band name. And what I'm doing here is it took 2 to 3 coats per color to get it nice where I wanted it. And so this is just me just sitting here doing exactly that, color blocking. On this stage of the project is kind of nice because you don't have to be exactly perfect with it. You just follow the shape that you've already, I've done a lot of prep work for this. I've done a lot of preparation. I know what the design's supposed to look like, know what it's going to look like. I went ahead and traced the design on there. So there's not a whole lot of brain power that goes into this process, into this part. It is a bit of the ugly stage, I do suppose, because when you put that first layer on there, it looks like all streaky and gross. But just be diligent, let it dry. After that, slap that first ugly coat on there, let it dry completely, and then put another coat on top of that, and then do a little bit of touch-up after the third one. You might need a little bit of touch-up, but after that, you just gold, right? And that's it. On to the next layer. Yes. This next part is actually the most important part before as far as getting it all to tie together and getting it all to look good. This is the part where it actually really starts to matter. And what I do is so with the monkey, we had 5 different colors for the monkey. And so we took each and every one of those colors and I split them in half and then added some black to one part and then white to another pile. So essentially you've got, from that one color, now you have 3 colors. So I used the mid-tone and then added some black, and then you've got the dark tone, and then you've got added some white to it, and you've got the highlight. And for each, you rinse and repeat and mix all the colors the same way, and they all look pretty consistent. And whenever I would mix other color, I would just use the palette that I have and mix colors the pre-existing colors together to make, you know, it just all look nice and coordinated. It all looked consistent. And so with each color block, with the green, we'll say with the teal, with that I added black, and you've got the dark teal to add the shadows, I'm sorry. And then with that light teal, you use that for the highlights. And then you just rinse and repeat that process all the way throughout the entire painting, throughout the entire thing for each and every individual color. And again, take your time with it. I like to go one color at a time. So I'll do all of the green portions, and then I'll turn around and do all the blue, and then all of the... Actually, I think what I do is do all of that gray-brown color, and then I do the mask, that purple, and then I do the green, and then I do the blue, I think. I'm not exactly sure, but yeah. So it's just using 3 colors per color. 3 hues per color, how about that? And then it makes for some nice little... Makes it nice, makes it good. And then finally, I like to go in there with I went in there this time with some black, thin black paint, and used that to outline. And then I also, to tie it all together, I used this yellow as a highlight. And with the highlighted yellow, I just put it all throughout the board, on the letters, on the monkey, on everything. I used this like underglow as the yellow, essentially, and it tied it all together. And it made it look like one big cohesive piece of art. Okay, I'm very nervous right now, so I just poured some resin, right? I just poured resin on the skateboard, and the torch will not work. I'm trying to it's covered in bubbles, right? It's covered in bubbles, and this will not work. So I'm stuck here with a little lighter, trying to sit here and burn out all these bubbles here, right? So I gotta sit here with this tiny little lighter and add heat, because it's just what I gotta do. So I'm gonna be here for a little while, maybe an hour or two, getting these little bubbles out. But after I'm done and it's dry and cured, after it's dry and cured, I'll be able to reveal the final product to you. Let me get busy. Are you ready to see the final result? Of course you are. Here is the Samurai Monkey skateboard deck. That is all she wrote for this one. It's finally done. It was a nice and easy little project. It was a good project. It was a fun project. It was good. Now I've got to give this thing to him. I'm going to give it to him on his next little concert, which is New Year's Eve. And I'm going to go ahead and wrap this video up now and just have it ready to post as soon as he gets the board, because I want to have this product out as well. So we're going to get after it. Yes, we're going to close this video out and give you a little sneak peek of what might be happening in the next video. Yes? Oh, yes. If you want some commission work done for me, you feel free to reach out to me. I'm going to go ahead and put my email, actually, down here for some, if you want to email me for something of this nature right here. Yes? See you guys later. This is the Hun Studio. Peace out. I'll see you later.